Hello students, welcome back to Ekcel Academy's YouTube channel. We are presenting the current affairs for 30th May 2020. Before we proceed, let me just remind you that our free video classes are available on our website. You can click on the link which is given in the description, register yourself and make the best use of the content available in the website. We have uploaded video classes on business communication, legal aptitude, economics and business environment, and on current affairs as well. Our app is available on Google Play Store. You can download the app and use the content for free, which is available in the app. We have started uploading the videos related to Part B of Paper 4, which is a Viva Voce exam for you, and it will be conducted on communication and presentation skills. Let's start with the first news bit for the day, and this comes from Wipro, and Wipro has a new CEO. Very, very important. The new CEO's name is Delport. So this is the name of the new CEO for Wipro, and Wipro is one of the leading software companies of the country, and this name is to be remembered by us because this can be a question in the current affairs exam of CSEET. The second news bit for the day comes from central government, and it says credit flow not choked, dispersals to pick up. This is very important. This means that more of loan will be given by banks to the people who are seeking loan. And there are certain other things which comes along with this news. It says that there are some structural changes that will happen in the banking sector. And there are steps that are being taken by the finance ministry in association with the labor ministry to curb the joblessness, and there are steps that are being taken to curb the investments that come to India in the form of FPI. FPI stands for foreign personal investment. So these are some of the important steps that government is taking to make sure that economy runs smoothly and we are able to register economic growth. The next news is about the GDP. In the last quarter of the last financial year, India has registered a growth of 3.1%, which is definitely on the lower side because we were expecting the growth somewhere to be in and around 5%. But it is obvious the entire country was under the lockdown and we are seeing the effects of that. Right. The reasons for this are the GDP growth has been dragged by manufacturing, construction and investment sector, says the analysis. Not only the Indian economy, the other global economies or the world countries coming from other continents are also facing this kind of a problem. There is a news which says that French economy shrinks. It means that the economic activity is reducing and at a pace which is fastest in the last 50 years. So there is global slowdown. That's what we understand from this slide. The next news bit is related to the lockdown and reopening of malls and eateries is the call which the state governments have to make. Central government will not be imposing any restrictions on malls and eateries. It is the call of the states is the news which comes in. And in India, we have already touched 172 cases and the death is close to 5,000 people. So this is a call which the state governments have to take. Big tax shortfall raises fiscal deficit of center to 4.6%. Now, what is the meaning of fiscal deficit, which is very important for us to know? The budget the government presents is also the financial statement. Any financial statement will necessarily have two things. One is the revenue and other is the expenditure. Any developing economy like ours would always present a budget where the expenditure is more than the revenue. So this year, what can be observed is the difference between the two would be around 4.6%, which is huge. So that is what this news bit is telling us. Niti Aayog for sleeve of steps to make exports competitive. This is one news. I'll just connect the two. The other news is US consumer spending sinks record 14%. Now, what do we understand here? India is trying to increase its exports. And in USA, the news is the consumption of the common people is reducing. How is it going to affect the GDP? GDP's formula according to the expenditure method is this. GDP is equal to consumption plus private investment plus government expenditure plus exports minus the import. So this is the formula that we use to calculate GDP in the expenditure method. Now, if you take the US news, if the consumption is reducing, this factor is going to reduce. So it is going to affect the GDP. Now, what is India trying to do, or what every economy tries to do, is they want to expand their exports and reduce the imports. So this helps in the increase of the GDP. So what do we see here is Niti Aayog, which is the think tank of Government of India, is trying to come out with methods to make Indian exports competitive. So it adds to the GDP growth of the country. And in US, what is being seen is consumption is reducing and it is going to affect their GDP. So that is why both exports as well as the domestic consumption is very, very important in order to keep the GDP at a higher level. Next news comes from the oil ministry, and they say that they are trying to come out with a model where petrol and CNG can be home delivered. They started trying this with diesel, where in few cities in a very small scale, diesel is being home delivered. So a similar thing is being tried with petrol and CNG. There are other concerns about safety and other concerns which the ministry is looking into. One more thing that we have to understand is who is the minister for fuel related things. It is Dharmendra Pradhan. Please remember the name, very important, can be a question. So Dharmendra Pradhan is taking care of the oil and other fuel related ministry and its affairs. This news is from the electric vehicle. We all know that going forward, availability of crude is going to reduce and the whole world is thinking about coming out with alternate source of energy, and electric vehicles are expected to become the mainstay. So there is this news which says that India is trying to manufacture more of electric vehicle parts within India. This is the new vision that the government of India has set. It is the Atmanirbhar scheme, where we have to be self-sustained or we have to be self-sufficient. All these electric vehicle parts were being imported from China. Now we know there is a lot of disturbance in the supply chain, and China is also suffering from the backlashes around the world. So India is also planning to manufacture its own parts, and that's the news that we get from the representative of Eon Energy. So this was the update for today. We shall meet you with more updates. Log on to our channel at 7 p.m. every day for that particular day's current affairs updates. Thank you so much.